You know, people, this is great. This is truly great. This is a great loadout that I would definitely recommend 100%. I actually do recommend this loadout. Now, you could totally change, like, everything I got going on over here. Like, you can make this 1,000 times better if you had better stat rolls than I do. Like, if you have a better stat roll hunter, then you can make this build 100% better. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Your Boy Plays Video Games, and I am Dave Dreamer. Perpy, say hi. Anyway, so yes, I made that the man. I named him Perpy, based off of Alan Becker characters. Except he is completely original, made by myself, and, well, I named him Perpy, as to not copyright Purple. Actually, my favorite character in that entire series has to be King and Blue. Those are my two favorites. Anyway, back to the actual video. So today I decided to I decided to use Sunshot yesterday, and oh dear lord, how much they buffed this thing. This thing's gonna get nerfed into the ground, just like my hunter abilities. Hunters are basically useless at this point. But anyway, I wanted to tell you, I wanted to make video on this. So actually, this is a recording right before... Wait, what? Anyway, so let's look at the gun. Chambered compensator. Okay. Accurized rounds and trait Sunblast. Targets killed with Sunshot explode in solar energy. Textured grip, and Sunburn. This weapon fires explosive rounds that highlights targets that take damage from Sunshot. Why do my English no work today? Anyway, the catalyst was just given to me at the beginning of the season. I was like halfway done with it. I never finished it, and it just gave it to me at the beginning of the season, along with the Fighting Lion catalyst. So, okay. But it increases the range pretty decent amount of stability. I don't know what else it does, but this thing is lethal. Now, if you want this ornament for it, then it's currently in the Bride Does store. Anyway, and this is a build if you want it. I would show it in oh no, wait, here it is. Why am I dumb? The Cruz N-Word weaponry, because it is literally the exotic perk from what you would call it. It's literally Necrochasm's original exotic perk. Now this is very interesting. Now, back in the D1 Year 1, it was a very big pain to get Necrochasm. It was a big angy. It made you very angry, because you see the remastered version of Necrochasm said you got, after a certain amount of quest steps, you gotta beat the raid on the hardest version. Okay, that's not bad, because it's the easiest raid in Destiny history. Well, except for raid layers, those things they weren't even raids. They were fucking proto dungeons. But anyway, something that I quite liked, something that was really spicy about D1 whenever it first came out. I need to turn up the volume or sound effects and dialogue. Is that exotics are pretty unique, in all honesty. Now, for those of you who weren't around during the Forever 29s, which if you are, my God, I respect you as a human being, but and a gamer. Forever 29s was essentially the point of whenever Vault Glass initially released, and the maximum power was 30 at max, and the maximum you could get to was 29 without beating a raid. You had to beat the Vault of Glass raid multiple times to get to 30, I believe. And 30 was a pain in the ass to get to, because the original Vault of Glass was damn near impossible. In truth, like, ask anyone who's around at that time, and they'll tell you, more than likely, it was like freaking impossible to beat that damn raid, and whenever it initially came out. Dude, look at how much this gun's putting in work. I'm bringing this into the day one, streaming down, like, on my Twitch, by the way. Maybe even YouTube. I don't know. We'll see about that. I don't think YouTube would be happy with our language. But, yeah. Forever 29s was definitely a pain. And then came out Crota. Crota was interesting. So essentially what Crota was whenever Initiate came out, once again, it was a pain in the ass to beat and extremely hard, but it had much better loot then. Destiny, Bungie back then had much better loot then than they do now. What do I mean by that? I meant as an overpowered loot, because you had a Gjallarhorn, which is rated to be the best weapon the entirety of the game, and then you had the best god tier loadout you could have at the time was Black Hammer, and Gjallarhorn and Fatebringer. That was the god tier loadout of weapons that you could have at the time. Now, why is that? Well, you may be asking yourself if you aren't like a D1 year 1 vet, because they removed it from the raid after year 1 and locked it at 130 power out of 400. Is that, well, what is Black Hammer? Well, Black Hammer, my friend, my little friend who knows shit about the history of Destiny weaponry, Black Hammer was a legendary secondary slot sniper rifle. Yeah, it was solar, dealt a pretty decent amount of damage. It was basically Whisper of the Worm in Legendary. It was literally Whisper of the Worm in Legendary form, except more powerful. What do I mean by that? It didn't take ammo from reserves. It regenerated it. Yeah. Overpowered. So, no wonder they literally capped it at 130 light. No, 170, I believe. And then, like, left it in the original version of the raid. Now, Necrochasm at the time was a very hard weapon to get, purely because of how fucking hard the raid was, and because in order to get the weapon worked like this. In order to get the Necrochasm in a nutshell, originally, was that you needed to get the white version of the gun called Husk of the Pit. Yep, it was a white little gun, still 900 RPM. You need to get that thing and level it up all the way so that you could get it to its next ability for a pretty decent amount of materials to make the Elon Anomaly or something like that. Yeah, and then that thing was a little bit more powerful. You would upgrade the Anomaly until the final upgrade, which said you need the Crux of Crota and nothing else. You're like, okay, Crux of Crota. Crota drops that, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, it was a random drop chance, which sucked because at the time that shit was difficult, and I mean difficult. I mean, you think like day 1 raids now are hard, and they are, in truth. Like D1 raids, they were basically day 1 raids today, except they were permanent until they were like purposely nerfed because the community base complained about them so much, which is actually the main reason why my father stopped playing, because Destiny wasn't difficult enough. That was his main complaint, was that the game wasn't hard enough. Which a lot of you may be saying no, but brother, it was hard. It was hard out here, bro. Oh my god, I'm getting everyone to less than a D1. What the fuck? Anyway, so this gun sounds so good. But anyway, Necrochasm was hard to get, and Vex Mythoclast was basically the god tier weapon. Like, if you didn't have Vex Mythoclast, the only other fusion rifle dominator for the Crucible was something that most of you, I can guarantee, most of you have never heard of it. I didn't hear about it until like 3-ish years ago. And I've been there since like year 1, basically, playing my dad's account until Taken King. Because he got the thing, but he never used it. Because of how horrible it is to control. It's called the Pocket Infinity. So for those of you sweet little guys who don't know what Pocket Infinity is, oh my dear lord. Let's just say that if it was in D2 today, literally almost just about everyone would beg for it to be removed. Or at least have its entire exotic perk reworked. Why? Well, let's just put it into perspective. It could fire in full auto, and it had infinite ammo. Well, not infinite ammo. So, like, if you would go down to the last shot of your mag, then think Merciless, right? Think Merciless. And then it doesn't have a recharge time. It does have a zzz, No, it's constantly in a bzz, 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 bzz. It's doing that permanently. And whenever you hit their last round on your mag, it continuously keeps shooting as long as you hold down the trigger. Literally, you can't run out of ammo. You could literally just walk around having that thing of full auto, and anything in that thing's range will be dead. It was really, really, really powerful. So, like the original Black Hammer, that thing didn't move past year 1. That thing did not move past year 1 or year 2. I forget. Like, that thing was... It was hit with the Van Hammer. Now, what's another legacy exotic that not many people know about? Well, at least the Destiny 2 community know about. Oh, yeah. Icebreaker. Now, this one is definitely more famous than the last two that I mentioned, because it actually did get a remaster. Icebreaker is an exotic secondary slot sniper rifle that had Firefly. It had 6 bullets total. Why does it have 6 bullets? Does it hit like a 200k or something like that per shot in current Destiny 2 terms? No, though it was a high impact frame sniper. It regenerated bullets. Now, back then, I don't know about you guys, but Destiny 1 had a really big problem in Crucible because you didn't spawn in with green ammo. Literally, it was an exotic perk on Dreg's promise to spawn in with green ammo. That's how fucking hard it was to get green ammo back then. It was really hard. Like, we was suffering out here, bro. So... yeah, that thing regenerates a sniper rifle that regenerated ammo, and then had No Land Beyond, which was a primary slot white ammo sniper. Yeah, they really liked their snipers and got creative with ammo with snipers in that game. They also had Invective, which was pretty fucking cool. A shotgun that basically regenerated ammo. So, yeah, they had a lot of cool weapons back then. There were something that they also did with the if you're watching this after Crota released and you look at the current Crota armor, that's not the original Crota armor. That's the Age of Triumph Crota armor, which just straight up looks better, to be fair. But, yeah, that's not the original. It is pretty freaking far from the original, in all honesty. In all honesty, it's pretty freaking far from the original. Now, I know that I'm literally only using my Sunshot, and I'm not using the actual build itself right now. But, yeah. And actually, if you don't... damn. If you don't know, they're actually nerfing Caliban Sand. Again! God damn it, Bungie. Stop nerfing our exotics. They're nerfing Star Eater Scales. They're nerfing Caliban's Hand. They're nerfing freaking Celestial Nighthawk. Dude, like, this guy's gotten a nerf. This guy, that thing's already been nerfed, but it's still pretty good. Like, this guy got a nerf. Like, this, no, wait, hold on. Let me think. This guy got a nerf, and this guy got a nerf. And then, also, I'm pretty sure this guy's getting a nerf, and then this guy's definitely getting nerfed. And then they're, like, fuck! Something else about Destiny 1 that not a lot of people know is that they had exotic class items. Yeah, they really did. Like, you by default had one for each class unlocked in your kiosk, and it was essentially an okay armor piece that essentially had the exotic perk of you can wear this and any other exotic at the same time. So if you had like a really good one of those capes, then you can wear that exotic with something else. But unfortunately, like the class items usually, unless it was like Warlock or Titan, the Hunter one, the Night Stalker cloak, looked ass, in all honesty. Like, it looked just straight up bad. It did not look good. Like, brother, it didn't look great. At all. It looked horrible. Yeah. Yeah, no, it didn't look great at all. And also, originally, Destiny 1, something that a lot of people also didn't know, is that Void for Hunters, Solar for Titans, and Arc for Warlocks didn't exist. You didn't have those elements for those classes whenever Destiny originally came out. Like, those things were non-existent. Like, you had to go get them by hand, which sucked, in all honesty. Like, you had Gunslinger and the Arc Blade. I forget what it's called. Blade Dancer. I don't know. Blade Dancer, yeah, actually. You had those two supers for Hunter. Then you had Bubble for Titan, and then Arc for Titan. And then you had, for Warlock, you had Radiance, and you had Void. So, a lot of people have heard rumors about the original Warlock, and people are like, oh, today's Warlock's good, but it doesn't compare to what the original Warlock was. Well, you know how that super from, like, everybody's saying that the super that Warlocks are getting with Final Shape is basically Radiant super for Warlocks back in D1 without the self-res? That's exactly what their super was. You could self-res yourself in a very difficult activity. Now, back then, in the hardest version of the raids, even to this day, on the hardest version of raids, you don't have revive tokens. You die, you stay dead for the entire encounter. So it really put emphasis on live or die. And self-res Warlocks could get around that. And they also not only could self-res himself, that wasn't their whole super. You would still get about a 15 to 20 second timer of abilities instantly regenerating. Yeah, so you could literally spam grenades and melee abilities permanently. It was crazy how fucking powerful Radiance was. Hell, like, I'm a Hunter main, but Warlock, oh, he quickly became my favorite in D1. Oh my god. And then, yeah. Yeah, no. And then you got the, you have the original Arc Hunter, which was basically, you know, like the Shadow Blades. I don't even remember what they're called on Hunter, and I'm playing him right freaking now. What were the little blade? What are the little blades on the Spectral Blades? So essentially, Spectral Blades was the Arc Super for Hunter, and that was the only Arc Super for Hunter back in D1. Except Supers had a lot more customization. Like now, right now, Supers have a lot more customization than ever. But D1 had a lot more customization for Supers than D2 up until they reworked everything. Like, it was a big deal. Like, there was an exotic for Hunters that was God tier for in-game activities, and if you want to know what that was, then I will happily tell you. That exotic was called Don't Touch Me's. Don't Touch Me's. Oh dear lord, don't get me started on that. That shit was annoying. Like, Don't Touch Me's, you take melee damage, you go invisible. And then there's also another ability in the Arc tree, which is the original Invis, not Void, is that whenever you crouch down for a few seconds, you would go invisible for about 10. That made running Crota really easy, at least at first encounter, because you could literally just stay invisible the entire time with Don't Touch Me's in that. Like, now the super was basically borderline useless, but let me tell you, the abilities of Arc were not at all. They were simply like the best abilities. Like if you had an Arc Hunter and you're running a high-end activity back in year 1 D1, then you would already know. If you saw Don't Touch Me's in an Arc subclass, you already know that they're Invis Hunters, which were basically the bane of your existence in D1 year 1, because they popped Invis like every 5 godforsaken seconds. Like, there wasn't a cooldown after you got out of Invis from crouching. You could just instantly crouch again and just go Invis. Like you basically had semi-permanent like Invis back in D1 for Hunter. You basically had semi-permanent Invis. It was very annoying to deal with. Yeah, no, this is definitely a good build. You need to use knives more than I do for this build, but this is a really good build. I am going to bring this one into the day 1 raid, but I'm also going to have my Warlock and Titan unironically on standby because of how bad Hunters have had it recently with Bungie, that like they've borderline become useless. Like, my friend brought this up to me. I'm like, no, they still have some uses. Like, they're the most agile characters. And I'm like, okay. And he says, okay, So what do they do better than any other subclass other in PvE other than PvP? And I genuinely couldn't answer. Like single target DPS is what you might want to say, and then you're like, oh, Titans. Yeah. And my friend, unfortunately, Ethereal Ty, Kenpachi Fried Chicken, like Tyrese as I call him, my best friend. He is not a hater. He acts like a hater, but he's really not. Like every time you say, "Oh, hey, have you seen this new thing?" and then he goes, "No," and then he's very negative about Destiny, especially like within the past year. He's been very upset with Destiny. He doesn't want to play it at all. He says that uses way too much reused content, which, to be fair, it did. But like every time there's a new season, he just accuses it of being a filler season, and it's just very, very negative mindset he has with Destiny, which I really try not to have with Destiny. I've been playing Destiny since I was like 5, so this is basically my entire childhood right here. Brother, you're talking to someone who managed to play the entirety of Curse of Osiris and Warmind and the Red War. You're talking to someone who has a Sagira shell. Now that's some real commitment right there. If you're a real man, then show me your Sagira shell, bitch. Like, now I didn't do any raids in D1 up until after D2 release, which is why whenever you look at my legacy, then it won't say that I even completed any of the raids and only the campaigns. Is because I never beat any of the raids in D1 on any character until after that the D2 came out, because I was so young. My father didn't want me being on essentially the internet. He didn't even want me doing strikes, dude. Like, I remember doing the Devil's Lair strike, and he got on, like, he wasn't mad, but he said you can't do that because they're people, like, those are, like, real people, and I'm like, oh, damn. So I was basically a solo player for, like, the first 3 years I ever played Destiny. Like, he eventually, like, after that, just let me do strikes, but, like, I was borderline a solo player for years. I, for the most part, still am, in all honesty. But Destiny 1 definitely had more exotics, as I'll say. And I signed up for the creator thing for Bungie. You know, they're like, hey, we'd like to have a collab with you and all of that. So I signed up, and Bungie is like, they sent me an email after about 30 minutes that said, we need to confirm your email. So I click on the link to confirm my email, and it's already confirmed. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm hoping, like, I still haven't gotten a message since, and it's been about 24 hours almost, and I'm hoping that they write me back, because if they don't, it's sad, because borderline people, this is very important for me to get out, is that I'm a Hunter main, and I always will be, and I will forever love Hunter. And all the big YouTubers, more than likely, are going to sign up for that, and they're all going to be accepted, and none of the big Destiny YouTubers are Hunter mains. None of the big ones. The guys who actually have a voice. None of them are Hunter mains, is my point. And I'm a Hunter main, which is why I would like to be there, because they're like, oh, we'll talk to you about the X, Y, and Z and see, like, what we can do and all that. And my thing is none of the big YouTubers are Hunter mains. Like, there was a time a while ago when our Hunters were the majority of the community, but none of the big YouTubers were ever Hunter mains. And so I believe that I should be on there because I am a Hunter main, so I can be the voice for the Hunters. Like, I'm not kidding. This is the Hunter place. This is the safe place for Hunters, is my channel, is because, like, you got Titans and Warlocks and all these guys, and, like, you got all these voices for these guys. Who's gonna stand for the poor Hunters, bro? Hunters have had the shit in the stick for a while now. Ever since they nerfed our dodge is whenever it got really bad. Like, they're still never got a pretty decent amount before that. But, like, bro, that Hunter dodge nerf, I'm still mad about that. Because I can't get off an invisibility dodge without fucking dying at this point. Because Hunter dodge, for those of you who don't know, originally was, it broke tracking whenever you, dodged. So if somebody was shooting at you, their bullets went through you while you were dodging. Essentially. And I agree that I needed some tweaks and all that, but like I don't believe that hunters needed to be nerfed that bad. It was bad. Like they basically killed Hunter Dodge. Hunter Dodge is basically Icarus Dash at this point. That's all it really is. So Bungie, please fix hunters. We need help. We're borderline useless. The air classes have us outclassed other than Crucible. Please. Okay, no, actually no. So Lucky, Lucky's a semi-big Destiny YouTuber. I'll give him that. Lucky, be the voice for hunters because they're not gonna let me be the voice. I can guarantee it. They're not gonna let me be the voice for hunters, dude. Like, I can guarantee it 100%. Anyway, thank you people for watching. This was just a gameplay video, me talking my ass off while showcasing my this build that I have. Now, this is one that I built after loadouts got locked, so I had to basically have this on until loadouts come back online. But let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. This was definitely no, this was fun. This was fun. Just me talking about Destiny and old stuff from Destiny 1 and how I feel about Destiny. Like, this was fun. And I probably won't do it again, but I might. You know, if you want me to, then leave that down in the subscription site. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Truly, I appreciate it. Rate the loadout down below. I'll showcase everything again. Rate the loadout down below. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.